One.
Okay. So what I would like to now go to as a final alternate source is the IB Times. Now, take this quote from here from their article. In America, if you're anything other than a WASP, then you're defined as the other, and whenever a few select individuals do something outside the law, the entire community is associated. No community should have to bear responsibility. No community should have to apologize or be asked to apologize. One interview using an acronym used to describe individuals who are Protestant and of white Anglo-Saxon descent. Now, in this article, IB Times is much more valuing the humanitarian side, but it still includes the political side. Now, take for instance who they're interviewing. This is Armin Taleb, and he was the director of the coroner of Riverside, which was a nearby mosque when the San Bernardino attack occurred. Now, the whole article is responding to how Donald Trump's justification for this Muslim ban was because the San Bernardino shooting might happen again. And this in itself does not stand as justification. And that's what they're trying to show in this article and what they're valuing. Now, also, when it comes to these sorts of topics, during this article at IB Times, it gave statistics on who was going to be affected and interviewed the people themselves who were at the San Bernardino attack. And they themselves disagreed with what Trump was doing. Now, what I want to say in conclusion is that when it comes to these different types of news coverages, you need to keep in mind that where they're geologically situated. Like, even though they're starting to go into new media, they still have the same problem as being focused on where they're geologically located. Unlike alternate news organizations who use mass media a lot more, such as they're broadcasting not necessarily on television and films. They're getting their articles out through the internet. Now, to summarize what you can take away from this is that if you're looking for about this Muslim ban, if you're going to look at an American source, you should look at an American source if you want to have political information and how this affects the Americans who are protesting or how the airports are going, or how politics themselves, such as Republicans who are against Donald Trump. Now, for an Eastern sources are much more beneficial if you want to have a humanitarian information, particularly on how many people are being affected by this. Because when their register of this itself is more of like an offensive, like they've been insulted on how this Muslim ban has occurred. And for alternate source, I advise that you use alternate source organizations as a general idea, because they have both information on political situations and humanitarian situations. Particularly though, then this can be seen in Guardian, particularly when they try to balance it, they have general information. IB Times went way more in depth on their setting, but it was much more humanitarian rather than political. It had political parts, but it was much more humanitarian. In summary, if you want an in-depth analysis of political problems, the American media is the way to do it. If you want an in-depth analysis of the humanitarian problems, go with the Eastern sources. And alternate sources are for a general idea. That's why this is my topic that I wanted to do for my first video. Thank you for watching. Leave a like, and I'll make more videos when I can.